All right, so have you ever pictured yourself maybe like leading an expedition through the wilderness, sharing your love of the outdoors with others?
Yeah.
Well, today's deep dive, it's going to be right up your alley. We're
Yeah.
talking about specialized outdoor animators,
Okay.
but we're going way beyond, just your typical job description here. We're going to
Okay.
really get into, what this career is all about.
Yeah.
And we're drawing on some really cool excerpts that we found on RoleCatcher.com.
Okay.
So think of this deep dive as your backstage pass to a career that's anything but ordinary.
Yeah, these are not your typical summer camp counselors we're talking about here.
Right.
This is next level stuff.
Yeah. And that's exactly what jumped out at me when I was, digging into these RoleCatcher excerpts,
Yeah.
is that this job really is about adapting to the unexpected.
Absolutely.
Right.
You're not just like leading a pre-planned hike on a well-marked trail. You're designing the entire experience, often on the fly, in environments that come with a whole bunch of challenges.
Yeah. And speaking of challenges, the work environment description,
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah.
We're talking national parks, maybe even rainforests, dealing with whatever Mother Nature throws your way.
Yeah.
I mean, I got lost in a botanical garden once.
Right.
I can't even imagine trying to navigate the wilderness with a group of people who are counting on me to keep them safe.
Right. You need that certain type of personality that thrives in those situations. Someone who can not only handle the pressure, but also keep everybody else calm and engaged and safe all at the same time.
Right. And it's like that saying, the adventure begins when the plan falls apart. But you can't just wing it, can you?
Definitely not.
No.
There's quite a bit of science that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
These professionals need a deep understanding of risk management group dynamics, even local ecosystems.
That actually explains something that kind of surprised me that I saw when I was looking through the RoleCatcher excerpts.
Okay.
They listed reading comprehension as a top skill. Now, I wouldn't immediately connect those two things, but I
Yeah.
guess they're poring over safety regulations and weather reports.
Absolutely, they have to be.
Wow.
They're constantly absorbing information,
Right.
analyzing it, and then applying that knowledge to make informed decisions in the field.
So it's not just about, being outdoorsy.
Right.
You need that analytical side too.
Yes. You need to be able to think on your feet for sure.
This job is way more multifaceted than I initially thought.
It absolutely is. And we haven't even touched upon the client-facing aspect yet,
Right.
which is huge.
Okay, so we're already starting to see some of the complexity here, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, just scratching the surface.
Right. And when you start thinking about it, you've got different clients, maybe different ages, different abilities, all coming with different expectations. That adds like a whole other layer to this whole thing.
It really does. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You could be leading a group of really experienced hikers through the backcountry one day, and then the next day you're adapting a kayaking trip for a group of people with disabilities.
Yeah.
So each experience needs to be completely tailored to that group, and you need to have a real knack for creating an inclusive environment for everybody.
You really got to be a people person for this job, huh?
Oh, for sure.
I can totally see why they put so much emphasis on communication skills for this kind of work.
Yes.
But I got to admit, some of these interview questions that they were mentioning in these RoleCatcher excerpts,
Right.
they kind of make me sweat a little bit just reading them.
Yeah, they're designed to make you think.
Yeah,
This isn't like you're going in for a typical office job interview.
right.
They really want to see how you handle pressure and how your thought process works, especially in a situation that you're not familiar with.
So, like, give me an example. What kind of curveball might they throw at you in one of these interviews?
Okay, picture this. You're leading a group through a canyon,
Okay.
beautiful scenery,
Yeah.
and suddenly your GPS starts buzzing with a flash flood warning.
Oh, no.
What do you do?
Yeah. What do you do in that situation?
How do you react? What steps do you take to make sure everybody's safe?
Wow.
That's the type of thing they'll present you with to see, are you going to panic?
Right.
Or are you going to fall back on that training and really think things through?
Right.
They want to see those decision-making skills in action.
Yeah. That is intense. I'd probably say, all right, everybody, let's huddle under a rock and sing Kumbaya.
And that might be the right answer depending on where you are and how much time you have.
Right. Right. Exactly.
But it really does, highlight just how important it is to stay calm under pressure,
Yes.
to really be able to assess those risks and to know when you need to adapt or completely change course.
Yeah, definitely not a job for the faint of heart.
No.
But okay, let's talk about the rewards here a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, obviously you're getting to work in some of the most incredible environments on the planet.
Right.
But what really stood out to me, looking at these excerpts, were the benefits that they listed. That went way beyond just the typical, you get to be outdoors. We're talking the potential for like real creative expression.
Yes.
And even promoting environmental stewardship.
It's true. It's not just about leading the activity.
Right.
It's about making sure that people are connecting with nature on a different level.
And hopefully coming away from that experience wanting to protect it.
Exactly. And that's actually where I think the technology piece comes in,
Okay.
which we kind of touched on earlier.
Right.
It's not just about using GPS to get you from point A to point B. It's about using that technology to make things safer, to minimize our impact, and maybe even personalize the whole experience.
So you're saying we're not just talking about like a compass and a map here.
Right.
We're talking about some high-tech tools that are really changing the game for specialized outdoor animators.
Exactly.
So give me some concrete examples, like how is this technology actually being used out in the field?
So we're picturing, these breathtaking locations, but also like high-tech tools in the mix.
What does that actually look like for, these animators when they're out there in the field?
Well, we're seeing GPS systems now that do way more than just show you the trail.
Okay.
They can actually track fitness levels.
Wow.
They can give you real-time weather updates. And they can even like adapt the route that you're on based on, somebody in the group's needs.
So it's like having a personalized adventure guide right there in your pocket.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just GPS.
Okay.
Drones are being used more and more to keep an eye on wildlife from a safe distance.
Oh, that's smart.
So that way we're minimizing, our impact on the animals and on the ecosystems.
Right. Makes sense.
And then you've got all this adaptive equipment that's opening up a ton of possibilities for people who might have, physical limitations.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
We're talking like specialized kayaks.
Wow.
Off-road wheelchairs.
Really?
Things that let people of all abilities experience the outdoors,
That's amazing.
in a way maybe they haven't been able to before.
It sounds like technology is making this field a lot more accessible.
It really is.
Not just for, the animators themselves, but for the people that they're taking out there too.
Absolutely.
But I imagine there's probably a learning curve that goes along with all of this new tech.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gone are the days when you could just, have a compass and a map and call it good.
Right.
These animators need to be tech savvy.
Uh-huh.
They need to be able to solve problems as they come up,
Right.
and they need to know how to use all this technology effectively, but also ethically.
So you need that balance of those traditional outdoor skills
Right.
with this, cutting edge tech knowledge.
Exactly.
And then, of course, on top of all of that, you still have that human element. You've got to be able to connect with people, create those unforgettable experiences.
Exactly. And that's where I think the specialized part really starts to come into play. We were talking about those different career paths earlier. This is where you might say, okay, I really want to work with this particular kind of client.
Right.
Or I really want to, focus on this one specific activity and really, hone your craft in that area.
Yeah, like maybe you love working with kids, so you focus on leading youth groups, or maybe you're really into, wilderness survival skills, so you teach people how to thrive in those environments. Or even, like RoleCatcher was saying, some people specialize in adaptive adventures for people with disability.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
There's so many different niches within this field.
It really is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not a one-size-fits-all career path.
Which actually makes me think about, something I want to leave our listeners with today.
Okay.
Imagine for a second that you're choosing your own adventure here, but not as a participant. You're a specialized outdoor animator.
Okay.
So what's your specialty? Who are you guiding through the wilderness? And what kind of impact do you hope to have on their lives?
That's a great question. And I think it really highlights that this job is about so much more than just logistics and gear.
Yeah. It's really about connecting with people and sharing your passion for the outdoors.
Yeah, it's about those human connections.
Exactly. And creating those memories that are going to last a lifetime.
It's about finding your own path within the path.
I like that.
This has been such an eye-opening look into the world of specialized outdoor animators.
It really has.
For anyone out there who's feeling inspired to learn more, don't be afraid to take that first step.
Absolutely.
Do your research, look into training programs.
Right. Reach out to people who are already doing it.
Exactly. You never know. You might just find yourself, leading the way someday.
I remember the best adventures are often the ones we least expect.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, keep exploring, everyone.